Those in uniform, please salute. Those who are not, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
This is for youth to learn how to be a den chief. If you don't know what a den chief is, it's a troop scout who goes back to a pack to help the leaders to learn some leadership himself. The great thing about it is these cub boys and girls will really enjoy making friends with an older scout. Aside from that, the pack leaders need to know exactly what he's there for, or she, sorry, I keep forgetting. A den chief is not a gopher, but he's not your assistant leader either. It's somewhere more complicated than that. The troop leaders also need to know what this den chief is supposed to be doing, because it is a actual leadership position for the troop. It's September 26th, 9:30 to 2 at Trinity Lutheran Church.
Well, I am in the process. I haven't had a chance. I need to sit down and look through the curriculum and kind of see what we need to tailor, but I think we're still good to have it. We will most likely be doing it outside. Right now they're minimizing the number of people in the building, and I imagine by the end of September that will probably still be the same, but we can still do it. I just need to review all this stuff to see how we can make it as safe as possible for everyone.
Okay.
So, is there information on the, I'm sorry, is there information on the flyer there should be about the prices, the cost of den chief training?
I don't remember, but I'm
Okay. It may have been toward the bottom. Anyway, den chief training will be basically a base price of $8. And then, well, anyway, the maximum price can be $13, which would include a book and lunch and your den chief badge. And so there will be some options at the registration where you sign up to do that. Our goal is for both an adult from the troop where the den chief comes from, as well as the adult that the den chief will be working with at the pack level, to join them at the training so that everybody's on the same page in terms of expectations.
And next we are going to talk about Cubtoberfest. Stacy, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Cubtoberfest is taking place on October 3rd at Scoutland. This is kind of taking the place of Simply the Best Fest. Simply the Best Fest was supposed to take place at the beginning of September, but we wanted to give ourselves just a little more time with school starting, and to hopefully wait till things are calming down a little bit. So we decided to do Cubtoberfest, and we moved it to Scoutland because that gives us a much bigger venue so that we can really spread out. Now, there's going to be all kinds of things going on and this is for Cub Scouts. They will shoot BBs, they will have archery. We are working on getting hot air balloon rides. There will be fishing. And then we also have troops coming out, and they will be demonstrating scout skills and letting the Cubs join in with that. So there'll be all kinds of things going on. The Cubs will love it. So the pricing, let me try to go over that a little bit. We're doing something a little bit different this year. So current scouts are early bird price is $10. However, if you have a scout in your pack who has joined between August 1st and October 1st, they get in free. Parents are also free, so just wanted to let you know that. It is an all-day event. It is not a camping event. We will be following COVID-19 guidelines. And so, you know, that means masks, temperature checks, all the standard questions when you get there. Plus, you know, we'll be diligent about keeping things very clean, and we should have sanitizing stations all around the area. So I hope everybody would come out for that. The flyer is, let's see, I guess it's up on the website now. So, you know, go check that out. Check on, let's see, October 3rd. And, you know, just when you go to the Sweetwater calendar or the council calendar, just click on the October 3rd Cubtoberfest. It should take you right there. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and talk about peer-to-peer recruiting?
Yes, and thank you to Ed and Stacy for putting that on the Sweetwater District website. This is a fabulous idea that Stacy Henderson gave birth to. Basically, we are going to be offering some incentives for packs, troops, and crews. And for each level, there will be an incentive where the pack who and the troop and the crew who have recruited the most scouts to their unit outside of Roundup, will receive their choice of either a pizza party or an ice cream party. We actually, I talked to Rodney yesterday, and I'm sorry I didn't get the updates to Denise, but for the month of September and October is when we're tracking that. And there's a form on the Sweetwater page that has the information. It's a pilot program for the council within our district, and so we get to show off why Sweetwater is simply the best. This is a great way for kids to invite their friends, and if their friends sign up, then we want you to, we want leaders to track that for them. We're going to ask for 2 registered adults from your unit to sign off on to verify that those are done. And there's information on the form about when and where to turn that in. Excuse me. You may have a small troop who's just really motivated and excited, and you may have a bigger troop who's really motivated and excited. And both of those are great things. So we'll definitely take that into consideration. But we also, on the form, you'll see I put in a reminder that if you have scouts who are actively engaging in this process, to remember to award them with their recruiter strip. And then, of course, they're also potentially earning an award for their whole unit.
Okay. All right. Webelos Woods. Ordinarily, it's a weekend. This year, it is a day event. It is for Arrow of Lights and Webelos only. But there will be all kind of fun things. Webelos requirements and advancement items. They're going to work on the Into the Woods adventure, which involves woods, forestry, what used to be the Forestry Merit Badge. There will be BBs, there will be archery, there will be all kind of fun things to do, just everything except camping. This is a council event, so you need to go to the council website to find it, just like Duty to God. The next thing is Baloo. Matt,
all right, can you all hear me? Excellent, I knew you could. So, my name's Matthew Schoen, and I'll be running Baloo, which is basic adult leadership and outdoor orientation. This is a great program for any scout leader, Cub Scout leader, that wants to learn a little bit more about the camping aspects, the rope tying, lighting fires, cooking, everything that you kind of want to be prepared for when you're taking your kids out camping when it's safe to do so again. It's going to be on October 2nd and 3rd, which is a Friday night, Saturday day. Or it looks like it's been changed to, I think March 12th and 13th, if we don't get canceled. I'm always looking for people who want to help out. This is also a time where we build that camaraderie and enjoyment. Some of my best friends are still my friends from when we did our Baloo training almost 10 years ago. So it's a lot of fun. It's going to be at Scoutland, and it costs $15 per leader. So this is only for leaders. If your kids happen to be going to Scoutland for that activity, you won't be able to help them at the activity because you'll be in classes with me and my crew. The sign up I'm sharing with everybody right now. So you guys, I just shared with everybody on the text the login for it. Every pack that goes camping needs at least one trained Baloo person. So it's always good to have 2 or 3 per pack there. If you have any questions, you can always get in touch with me. My email can be found most everywhere, but I'll also type it in to the... Did anyone have any questions? Awesome sauce. Denise, it's all yours.
Okay, next we have fall family camps. Stacy, were you going to talk about that too?
No, I think that's going to be me.
Oh, okay.
Hi, guys. I'm Nikki Pawlowski, and I am the chair for Fall Family Camping. Stacy and I discussed it yesterday pretty in depth, and we are going to do this virtually this year. It'll be similar to the backyard virtual camping that was done earlier this year. And we'll have some exciting events throughout the day and make it so that all of the packs that participate can post things throughout the day, post pictures, and interact as much as possible. But this way we're doing it so that everybody can participate, and then if they want, they can go and do their own trick-or-treating and then come back and, you know, compare candy. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. And there will be updates, but it'll be the same. Mostly, I think it'll be Saturday during the day and Saturday night, not Friday. But it's going to be virtual, and there will be updates coming for the packs to look for on the website.
The next thing is a troop event. Up to now, we've been talking mixed and pack. BSA Aquatics Weekend at Scoutland with canoes and kayaks and swimming and variety of things. I think the troops mostly know about this already, but if you haven't heard about it, please look at the council website and you'll find the link there. For older scouts, there may be things like motorboating and water skiing. My son took water skiing 5 times and never made the last requirement, but he had a wonderful time. So take a look at that. Powderhorn is for youth 14 and up and adults. It is about how to plan a high adventure activity. Things like cope and climbing and water sports and all kind of things. Do look at that if you are a troop who is interested in that kind of thing. But take a look at that on the council webpage also. When it's teaching how to plan these high adventure activities, you actually do them during the course. It is 2 weekends. Conservation Day. Stacy or Rick, were you going to talk about it for us?
I can talk about it.
Okay.
So we are definitely still having Conservation Day. I'm tired of canceling events and changing them, so we're having it. As of right now, I do have 3 merit badge counselors for environmental science, so we are well on our way. We do need more scouts to sign up still. We have a couple so far. Actually just got one from Appalachia today, so that's awesome. But anyway, we are having to limit it to the first 60 scouts. So if since we have other districts now finding out about it, you want to get in there if you want to do it. It will take place at Yellow River Park. We will be, among other things, planting native pollinator plants and removing invasive species, which, you know, like I tell people, that's fancy for pulling weeds. But we should be doing some trail updating and that kind of thing as well. I think they said they may have a couple picnic tables if they come in time for us to even put together. Not sure how that fits with environmental science, but we'll figure it out. But anyway, it should be a good day. Check-in will be at 8 a.m. We will ask that you wear a mask and that you don't show up if you've been feeling ill or have a cough or, you know, all the standard COVID-19 stuff. And we will be doing temperature checks that morning. So just wanted to let everybody know that. But come on out, your scout can earn the Environmental Science Merit Badge, which is Eagle required. That's service hours that they are also getting, which they are conservation service hours, plus they have the opportunity to earn the Conservation Good Turn Award, and that will be included in the cost, which is $12 per scout, plus that includes lunch as well for that scout. And it's not going to be pizza. Ed's dragging the grill out, and we'll probably be grilling hot dogs. So that's about all I have to say about that. Does anybody have any questions? I don't hear any. So I guess we will move on to Joe Ashby.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me okay, or you gonna swap? There we go. Now I can see myself. Yeah, hey everybody. So the fall camporee, the theme this fall is going to be back to nature, and hopefully we'll actually be back to nature and actually camping there at Scoutland that first full weekend in November. The idea for the camporee is for the younger scouts, concentrate on those nature-oriented requirements, plant and animal identification, and if I can get the staff, we can talk about leave no trace and tread lightly concepts. Probably may go over the outdoor code, those kinds of things. That's what I'm anticipating for the younger scouts. For the older scouts, I'd like to, we'll have a station where we introduce them to some of the kind of non-rank conservation awards that they can earn, such as the Hornaday and the World Conservation Award. And also like to have other stations, as many as we can. I don't have an exact number in my head, of merit badges that are oriented around nature and conservation, things like environmental science or forestry or fish and wild or soil and water conservation, those kinds of things. So we'll have stations set up for those. The idea being kind of introducing the scouts to the topics and allowing them to talk to folks that are experts and knowledgeable in those areas. And then if they wanted to, they could then, work with the counselor and actually start the merit badge at that point. But it really isn't intended to be a kind of a class-oriented kind of thing. It's more of a informational sharing kinds of things. And then we'll also do all the kind of the standard Dutch oven cooking contests and campsite inspections and those kinds of things. And it is also, like it says at the top of the flyer, it is with the Chattahoochee District. I'm already working with them, starting the planning process. If you have any interest in helping staff the event, please email me. You see my address there on the screen. I need help with all of those things that I mentioned. If there's a particular nature-oriented merit badge that you'd really be interested in sharing your knowledge and passion for, please let me know when we start making that list. And at the program preview, and let's see if we can do this. I had a couple of big pine cones. Let's see if you guys can see this. I don't know. Can you? Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna work or not. Yeah, can you see them? These big, huge. I don't know, can you shake your head, Stacy? Yeah, you can see them. Okay, so they're gigantic. What I'm asking for, and these are not Georgia natives. I'll give you a hint. Email me if you think you know what trees they're from, and then I have a patch set. They're samples there on the stool, on the footstool. So think about it for a few minutes, and then email me. Even guesses are fine, and you could probably guess what you think the scouts think they are when I show these to them. So anyway, that was it. That's all I got.
Okay, sound like all my favorite things.
I'll sign you up. What do you want me to sign you up for?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do that I won't embarrass myself with.
There
Okay?
you go. Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, U-Log. I think we're all familiar with U-Log. It's a competition in scout skills between troops, Appalachia and Sweetwater, December 12 weekend. Camporee. Big game challenge is a theme. That means, you know, the life-size Jenga and those things. March 26, 28 at
Yeah,
Scoutland.
and I could throw out just a little bit of information. Well, let me move my thumb out of the way of the camera. So the spring and the fall camporee, we are combining with the Chattahoochee. Sweetwater, we're doing kind of the heavy lifting planning for the fall camporee, and Chattahoochee, they're doing the same for the spring. So really haven't talked to them yet about the spring camporee to get any more details on what you have right there.
Well, actually their flyer is on the council website, but it's listed as Chattahoochee only.
Yeah, but it
So
is a combined one with us. So.
It is, but that's where you find the flyer.
Okay.
Okay, also IOLS Introduction to Outdoor Leader Skills will be held at that camporee. It is required for Scoutmasters and Assistant Scoutmasters. That's on top of the classroom or online training. It is a camp out where you will learn such wonderful things as campsite preparation and fire making and wood tools and knots and cooking and leave no trace. And it's a full weekend, but you're really going to be glad you went to it. Okay. And the last thing is, everybody knows the fees are going up, right? Okay. Get your phone cameras out and take pictures of this because it's my most frequently asked question. Basically, we're going up 50 cents a month on membership across the board. Fall roundups, we will prorate the new cost of $66 a year, $550 a month until recharter. That'll be 5 or 6 months, depending on when your roundup is. If it's September, we're going to charge 58 because the prorated amount is 33. And at roundup, new scouts will be charged 25 for a new member fee. This goes to national. It's not refundable. But that is the cost, $58 in September to get you through recharter. Adults fees, $42 a year. And the September roundup, that's $21. That's if we're actually paying at roundup rather than whatever it is now where things get turned in at recharter. There is no new member fee for them. Now, when recharter rolls around, registration expires for all of them. We're not carrying them for 18 months anymore. So when recharter comes, anyone who wants to stay is being charged $66 for the year, just like your returning scouts. The new member fee applies to scouts who have not been registered in the last 5 years. If they're transferring to a troop, if it's an adult, if they're going from one pack to another, does not apply, okay? So at recharter, $66 for every scout and 42 for every adult. Carries them 1 year. That means that when you have 150 kids on your roster after roundup, the 75 who never showed up for the first day are going to drop off your roster so that they're not part of your unit goals for popcorn and other things. They will just be gone. So our numbers will look a lot more realistic now. So the charter insurance fee goes up to $75. Now, I've been asked about the $3 insurance fee per individual. The council sets that, not national. So we don't know whether that's going to change. Okay. And what else? Any questions?
No, but I have something I want to say real quick.
Okay.
And I should have said it earlier, I guess.
Found any more errors in my county?
Adult leaders, everybody who took YPT when the new YPT came out, that 2 years is coming up. I know I had to retake mine just this last week. So I want everybody to make sure that they're keeping their YPT current, because most of us will be expiring this year that took it 2 years ago. Be aware that it has changed slightly again. It now takes about 75 minutes to take it, but it is still broken up into modules so that you can still take a module here, a module there. The first 2 are about 25 minutes long, and that's what I did. I think I did the first 2, and then I just came back later and finished it up. When you take the test at the end, just be aware that it's not really clear. I only ended up with an 88 on my test because I was reading through and getting frustrated because I was thinking, well, you know, some of these answers are right. I can see where more than one works here. It didn't say to select all that apply. Well, select all that apply. Don't wait for it to tell you to, because you will end up having problems if you do. So just wanted to put that out there to be mindful of that. But yep, definitely check your YPT and make sure you're current. Thanks.
Okay, and in the meantime, Phil says the personal insurance will still be $3 this year. Okay, next we have popcorn. Allison, are you here?
I'm here. Hello, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. Okay. Hey, y'all. I am Allison Chambly. I am your district popcorn colonel again this year. And so as you see on the slides, there are some important dates to be aware of. If you placed a show and sell order, those do need to be picked up on August 22nd from 9 to noon. If you did not place one because you weren't really sure what you were going to do in light of everything right now, council is going to have extra that will be available should you choose to go pick some up in Jefferson. So just reach out to me if you decide to do that. The popcorn kickoff is going to be September 2nd. It is going to be virtual. So we will send out more details as we kind of figure out how we're going to do that time, but it is going to be that day. So go ahead and mark that day on your calendar. And then we will also have further information on how you're going to, of course, pick up your kickoff boxes, because we can't send those to you through the computer and you'll still need them. So make sure you keep an eye out for your emails, because we'll be sending all of that information out through email with how we're going to do that. You can, so you also see the last day of sales, October 31st. Units to place their final orders on November 1st, so make sure you keep those dates. Pickup is going to be the 12th or the 13th. Payment due to council the 2nd. That's pretty much all falls in lines with past years, and then your prize orders as well. And so yes, as was just mentioned in the chat, right now is free shipping on orders at $30 and up. It started the 11th and it goes through the 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So please make sure that if you are the representative, or if you are your Cub Master, Scout Master, that you let all your parents know, all your scouts know, to go ahead and go and push those online orders right now, because it is free shipping on $30 and up. And that includes donations. So if they have $25 product, they can give a $5 donation to get it to that $30 to get free shipping. That is through the 15th. Yes, through the 15th at 8 p.m. And remember also to remind all of your scouts and your in your units that those online direct sales, your scouts get double points towards their Trails End Amazon rewards for those online sales. So we definitely want to make sure that they're taking full advantage of that. We will send out, we have a flyer that we'll send out to everybody this evening, everybody that we have listed as the contacts that registered. We'll send that out to everybody so that you can disperse it to your units. Make sure you're sharing it on social media. If you have any questions, just email me at allisonchambly@gmail.com. And I see some questions have been coming up in the chat, and I will answer those when I hop off here. So thank you so much. Just email me if you have any questions.
We are running a little bit late, but stay tuned because we have roundups, recruiting, meetings, ideas coming up. Okay. Ryan or Taylor, do you want to talk about roundups, or at least what we know about roundups?
I can go first with roundup.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
And you can follow up, Ryan, and make sure I got everything right.
Mhm.
So right now, what Ryan and I are working on is we're calling the schools individually to talk about what the class talks are going to look like. So we're trying to go in person where we can, and where we can't, we're going to make do, and we're going to make sure that we reach all the classes individually the best that we can. And then as far as roundups go after that, if the school is letting us go there, then we're going to do roundups at the schools. Now, if the schools are not comfortable with that, then we're going to the local charter organizations, and we're getting permission from them to see if we're going to be able to meet there for each of the groups. So that's what we're working on right now.
Yet, or where the things will be, but you're working on it, right?
Say again?
So basically, we don't have anything to announce just yet. Okay. All right. Renate, did you have more to say about peer-to-peer? Or, I'm sorry, Ryan, did you have something else to say?
Sorry about that. I was like pushing the button. But yeah, basically everything Taylor was saying was right on par. Definitely going to be different this year, but even with it being different, it's definitely doable. And any ideas that you have, in my opinion, I don't think anything's out of the box at this point. Just, hey, whatever ideas you have, please, I'm open, I'm ready, willing, and please just share with me. Okay, y'all got my number. Please reach out to me. Let me know.
Well, okay, Renate, did you have more to say about peer-to-peer recruiting, or that it?
I think I covered all the pertinent details. Ed did put on the Sweetwater District website, on the Northeast Georgia Council website, the link for the form to fill out. Does anybody have any questions about that peer-to-peer incentive? Okay.
Oh.
And we're good.
Okay.
I guess I was clear.
You must have been. Okay. I want to say one thing. I know I've been talking a lot about Be a Scout online applications and unit pins, and I'm sure you're tired of it. I'm tired of it too. But first of all, some of you did update your pins, and thank you very much for that. But two things. If you fill in your information with the additional stuff in the contacts on the left, it does not show up unless you click the gray button on the right and turn it blue. Otherwise, it's not being seen by anybody. So do check that. Also, if you don't have a website that you entered or a Facebook page, the default is scouting.org. And if you enable it to show your website and it's scouting.org, that doesn't actually help you any. So please go back and check that if you've updated. If you haven't, then if you need help with it, just let me know and we will try to get that done. And next, we go to our breakouts, unless you have questions. Well, we have a quiet bunch here today, don't we? Okay. All right, breakout into pack and troop. Are we ready, Ed?
Yep, we're rolling. If you
Okay.
are if you are a Scouts BSA leader and you did not just get an invitation to go to breakout, send me a direct message. I'll put you on that list.
Cub leaders are staying in the main room, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
For recruiting resources, I sent in my emails to the Cub Master and committee chair of each pack, I sent a link to a whole lot of stuff from Atlantic Castle, which I think is some of the best stuff I've seen. If you didn't see it, please go back and look. And if you want to know more and you don't want to look at the website, I'm thinking of putting it all in Dropbox. So that's all I have, Stacy.
All right. And we'll probably talk a little bit more about resources in a little bit as well. So let's see, it looks like we have several people here tonight, and I want everybody to feel comfortable with each other, and I want you to be able to, yeah, if you have something to say, just, you know, come right out with it and say it, don't be shy. So I'm going to start with an icebreaker because I want to hear from everybody. I would like everybody to say their name, give me your pack number, and your favorite ice cream flavor. And I can start. I am Stacy Henderson. I don't have a pack number. I am with the district now because my kids are all grown. And ice cream flavor, I don't eat ice cream. I'm lactose intolerant. But back when I did eat ice cream, I loved Brewster's Turtle. So who's next? Am I going to start calling on people?
I guess it's me.
All right.
Denise Coburn, your district commissioner. I'm the one who emails you all the time. And my favorite ice cream is Fudge Ripple. I am no longer a unit leader because my cute little Cub Scout is 27 now.
All right. David Wilson, you're next. I'm just going to call on you.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. So I'm with Pack 1208. And on a side note, Denise, I need to send you my new email address. So I haven't been getting stuff lately, and I forgot to update it with you. So my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip.
Sounds good. All right, Randy, you're next.
That's one of the older packs now. And as far as ice cream, anything that's cold frozen works for me.
Randy's not picky. Kathy Lindsay. Can you hear me, Kathy? Kathy's having some problems with her sound tonight. So we'll skip Kathy for now. Let's move on to Beverly.
Tonawanda, Beverly Price, Pack 499, and although I should be moved on, my child's moved on. He's in Craig's troop, but you know. Anyway, still committee chair at Pack 499. Anything with chocolate and nuts, and definitely anything at Jenny's ice cream if you've never been to Jenny's. And I think that they even have some lactose-free ones, Stacey.
Really?
So Jenny, Jeni apostrophe S. There's one in Decatur. Go. It will change your view on ice cream.
I have never heard of that place. Well, Dana Walker, you are next, ma'am.
All right, I'm Dana Walker with Pack 517, and my favorite ice cream is vanilla bean.
Awesome. Goes with everything. Liz Murphy.
Yeah. Hey y'all, it's Liz Murphy and Emlyn Murphy. We're with Pack 506. And I absolutely love Americone Dream, Ben & Jerry's. And
another Ben & Jerry's that I like is Chunky Monkey.
Yes.
Oh, I had that like 20 years ago. It was awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Yay. Glad you guys are here. Ryan, do you want to chime in on this? I know you don't have just one pack.
Yeah, sure. So, wait, me? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the, I'm sorry. Yeah, Sweetwater DE, District Executive. And vanilla, plain vanilla.
Goes with everything.
Goes with everything.
Yep. Ed, since I see you, why don't you go ahead and go?
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and be the spoiler, and I'm going to tell you that the cheaper the vanilla, the better. because cheap vanilla goes on pie, it goes on brownies, it goes on everything, but it's not my favorite. My favorite has to be anything called butter pecan in any brand. If it's butter pecan, it's in my mouth.
And yes, I have gotten in trouble for buying too expensive vanilla. It wasn't cheap enough one time, so I learned my lesson.
And
Lisa,
I totally disagree. The more expensive the ice cream, the better it is. Totally disagree.
I think so
definitely
too,
concur.
but-
Cheaper than vanilla.
No, you guys are killing me.
Lisa Wojo. Are you there, Lisa?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Wojciechowski, Cub Master for Cub Scout Pack 568. And my favorite ice cream is Mayfield Lemon Ice Box Pie with the fresh blueberries on top.
Ooh, I haven't even heard of that.
It's really good.
I'm actually starting to want ice cream, but it causes too much pain, so I won't. Eric, next. You have sound now, Eric?
Eric Kushner, Pack 50, chocolate.
Straightforward, right?
Yep.
So Abdul Kareem, I don't think I know you, but you are next.
Hello, this is Abdul Kareem Abdullah from Pack 1215 and Troop 1215. My favorite ice cream is cookie dough, or I also like cookies and cream.
Huh? A cookie guy.
Yep.
Can't blame you. Allison, you're next.
Hey y'all, I'm Allison. I'm with Pack 100, and my favorite ice cream is chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh, we got two cookie doughs. You and Abdul Kareem. So Matthew Schoen, you are next, sir.
Joan, I'm on the Seeds Advisory Committee for the Sweetwater District, and my favorite ice cream is anything like Moose Tracks or Kitchen Sink, which has more food in it as well as the ice.
Sounds good to me. All right, Taylor, you're next.
Hey y'all, so new DE for Sweetwater B-side, working alongside with Ryan, and I actually was just talking to David, kind of sidebar, and he says hi to everybody, and that he misses everyone and wishes everyone well. As far as ice cream goes, well, I'm a true Texan, and I just love Bluebell, so really, any kind of Bluebell ice cream, I love it. I'll eat it.
Any flavor then.
Yep.
Can't blame you. Phil.
Yes, Phil Nichols, field director for Sweetwater and Appalachia. And I would say my favorite's got to be chocolate chip cookie dough.
Oh,
Get some chocolate chip cookie dough in there.
I think chocolate chip cookie dough wins. I was sure that vanilla was going to win. I really was. But so now y'all know each other's names, and so don't feel shy about, just coming out there. We're going to talk tonight about keeping scouting going during COVID-19. And, I know that the packs have had a lot of challenges here. The troops have as well, but, troops handle things differently. So with the older kids, it's just very, very different. So I do have notes, so if you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking at my other screen so I don't forget something. But we have an opportunity to keep scouting going and to keep these kids advancing and moving forward. So I know we've been basically shut down, most of us, since the beginning to middle of March. And it probably feels like we've lost a little bit of momentum, and we're going to have to work to get that back. I was talking to Liz Murphy earlier today, and we were talking about how we're all on the same ocean, but we're in a different boat. And that's very, very true. Not all packs are built the same. Not all parents are the same. Not all the scouts are the same. Some may be just completely outdoor, go get them. Some may be a little quieter and prefer more indoor stuff. So we want to be mindful of that. We also have packs that have a higher concentration of medically fragile children or parents or maybe grandparents at home that we want to be mindful of as well. So what we're going to start with first is the virtual pack. And this is an option. It does take a bit of work, but if you're dedicated to it, you can really kind of make it work. So what would a PAC's goals be during COVID-19? Some of the things I came across were give Scouts an opportunity to continue learning through adventures, keep them engaged in the Scouting program, and achieve rank advancement. So what do you think some other goals of a PAC should be in a virtual PAC setting?
Still building that camaraderie. You know, you can still do a lot of activities via Zoom and still build that sort of friendship and the teamwork that they need.
Right, I agree. I think that's really important. Something else I was thinking of is just keeping it fun. I mean, the Scouts, they really don't care if they're learning anything. They care about being with their friends and having fun. And, you know, COVID definitely puts a damper on being with their friends. And, you know, being online with your friends is not the same as, you know, being in your den or at a PAC meeting. So we have to find ways to kind of simulate to the best of our abilities what they're used to. Yes, make it different, but keep the same what we can keep the same. And I think the first place that a virtual PAC would need to start is with the Cub Master and the committee chair, because y'all are the ones that really set the tone for your PAC. You will need to be the main communicators. And I know that puts a lot of pressure on you, but I think you're probably used to having pressure on you. But anyway, communicate with your team. If a virtual PAC is what you want to do, definitely communicate with your team, communicate with your parents. Don't leave anybody guessing as to what your plans are and what you expect from them as well. And I say to add the parents in there, because in a virtual PAC, the parents are going to, in a way, become their child's den leader. They're going to be responsible for making sure their child is advancing, making sure their child is completing whatever activity or task that, you know, the den leader or the Cub Master puts forth. So, you know, the Cub Master or the committee chair, they can schedule the online meetings, and not just den meetings of PAC meetings. We're talking committee meetings, parent meetings, anything you may need to do. But to start your virtual PAC, definitely call a meeting with your entire team and your parents. Have an idea going in, what you're looking for, and then you'll want to ask the parents, the leaders, what they want, because you want to take that into consideration as well. You may have some that say, well, you know, we don't want to meet virtually. You know, we think we're fine to meet in person. And if that ends up being the case, and it comes down to you're going to lose that Scout, let us help you find them another PAC. You know, that's definitely a last case scenario, but instead of losing a Scout who they and their parents do not line up with your vision, help them find someplace else that fits them a little better instead of, nope, we're doing it this way.
Real quick, one of the things that we're doing over here at PAC 50 is we are doing the meetings in person is optional, and we're streaming them via Zoom simultaneously. So the ones that want to come and do the hands-on work are welcome, but the ones who still don't feel comfortable meeting in person can still participate via Zoom without missing anything.
Absolutely. That's what I'm calling a hybrid PAC. I'm probably not the only one calling it that. That's just the word I like. And yes, we're going to talk about hybrid PACs in a minute, because that is another option for parents who aren't quite as concerned. And like I said, nobody's right and nobody's wrong. It's just differences in opinions and how people feel. And we want people to be comfortable. So communication is a biggie. Let's see, den leaders, communication is going to be big with them as well. They're the ones that really are in charge of keeping the program alive during this time. If a den leader is not able to do these tasks, then they need to ask for help and have somebody else step in, because they're going to have to be willing and able to communicate with everybody in their den, with the parents, and they're going to have to be willing to plan ahead. Ideally, the program would be in a virtual pack would be planned a month ahead. That gives the parents time to, you know, get everything put together, make the plans, and help their child work towards the activity or the advancement, you know, whatever they're working on at that time. And everything needs to be really clearly spelled out for them. Ideally, at the end of this, you'd have parents that thought, well, this wasn't too bad. I could do this. I could be a den leader. You know, we can all dream. So you never know. It could happen.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I have had one parent says that, you know, we want to join, my child is younger and we want to join, we came to join the Cub Scouts to have, you know, the interaction with their friends and everything. I mean, it's a very difficult situation. So how do we, I guess, strike the balance? I mean, so
between not meeting in person at all and having scouts that want to meet in person?
Well, it's even worse than that. It's like whether we should have scouts or not this year. That's where we are at.
Gotcha. I would recommend having some sort of program, whether you're having a virtual program, whether you're having a hybrid program, which would be partially virtual, partially in person. Even if you do just one thing a month to keep it alive, otherwise next year you are starting from scratch. It's like you don't have a pack anymore. I definitely strongly recommend that you keep it going in some way.
And I think also if we're doing recruitment, should we recruit or should we? Because if we recruit, I mean, people are gonna say, well, they're already in school doing virtual, so to have a virtual pack might be too much for them or something, or they wouldn't want to pay the money to join. So that's another issue.
That is a challenge. And I'm not sure I have all the answers for that. Yes, Denise is waving her hand.
Denise, Abdul Karim, how big are the dens that you have now?
Our dens are small.
Okay,
Yeah.
do you have den leaders for each of them?
We have it for a couple, but every year we have to regroup. We haven't really met. We have one meeting already so far, just to kind of come back from March. So we haven't really begun planning, but we had a good discussion about whether we should go ahead or not. So I told everyone, hey, let's come to the meeting today and see if we can get some tips and see if we can get some ideas of what we should do. And I got you a letter, and we haven't gone through it yet, but I've seen some options that we're talking about today.
One of them is to just have your dens meet so that you have a small manageable group of say 10 people in the room. That's one option. But
another challenge we have this year is that our charter organization is moving. So this year we won't have a building until January. So that make it harder for us to, you know.
Well, there are many packs who can't get into their organizations either, and they're doing outdoor activities. They're going for hikes, they're going to parks. It's not necessarily every week, but it's something to keep them in the mindset. That's something to try.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Denise. And I would say that I'm trying to think if we have any packs that are meeting indoors right now, and I don't know. They are all, when they do have in-person meetings, the ones that are meeting partially, they meet outside. And I know that where Alpha Law is, that's not a really good they don't have a good outdoor space there. But if you're moving, the place you're moving to, and I'm sorry, you said you're moving in, is it Nick?
January. They're still constructing the place right now, but they're projecting we'll start in January.
Okay, so you're still going to be at Alpha Law or at this current location until.
Current location has been closed.
Oh, it has been closed.
Yeah, so
You don't have a meeting
everyone's
space.
doing virtual right now, so it's virtual.
Gotcha.
But I think people wanted that interaction and all that stuff. But I know in this climate, it's not going to be possible. A lot of parents are going to have concerns.
Right. So this is where a meeting outside and social distancing and having small groups is advisable. Just saying, if you have a den that has 10 children or 10 scouts, you can divide that up. You don't have to have all 10 meeting at once. You can make the group even smaller and separate them in basically den 1 and den 2. And that way they can still do things together. You know, in smaller groups, they can social distance. You can have them wear masks. You can make sure that the hand washing is used and be as safe as possible. I wouldn't recommend going to a really busy park, but there are places that have areas that you may be able to find that you could meet. And can you think of anything there in the Lilburn area?
The only thing I can think of is Lilburn Park. That's the closest place to the area. But I don't know. I haven't thought about any other place.
Now, another option is, we could go old school here. Years and years ago, the reason the word den has 2 meanings. Originally, Cub Scouts met in somebody's home. They met in the den in their home. And so you could, if you have somebody that has a good sized backyard, you could utilize that. That way they're still outside where, it's a little bit safer because you don't want to be in closed spaces. And plus there would be no contamination in the person's home. But that's another option that you could look into for a small group is actually meeting in a backyard. And in that situation, I mean, you could just have them, get a game up of kickball or, I mean, there's all kinds of things, just, outdoors kind of games or, have them do a scavenger hunt depending on the size of the yard. So I would recommend doing that.
Okay, those are some good ideas.
So, and you can always give me or Denise a call or send an email if you're running into any more problems. And, we'll try to come up with more ideas.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. So I'm going to go real quick back and finish up virtual packs. Let's see, we talked about communication. So when it comes to a virtual pack, I told you that the parents are going to be really important in this. They're going to be the ones that they're going to be in charge of making sure their scout completes the tasks and completes their ranks. If you have a scout not progressing at the same rate as the others, then the den leader or the cub master will need to reach out to that parent and say, hey, what can I help you with? Your scout's falling behind. But we do still want them advancing. That's an important part of scouting. Fun with a purpose, we call it. So that, again, it really, really comes down to communication with virtual meetings. Your advancement chair will want to monitor the progress. For virtual den meetings, most of the stuff in the den can be accomplished alone without an actual virtual meeting. So as long as the parents and scouts know what's expected of them, they can do that. And then maybe once a month you can have a virtual meeting. It could be your pack meeting and everybody comes together. They can discuss what they've done and what's coming up next. You don't, with packs, you do not really want your virtual meetings to go longer than 30 minutes. You're going to lose the kids. They're going to start getting antsy probably before the end of the 30 minutes. I mean, I think Abdul Karim brought it up. These kids have been sitting on DLD all day, and probably the last thing they're going to want to do every week is get on Scouts for an hour. So definitely keep it down to 30 minutes. And, you know, and make it age appropriate. You know, with your lions and tigers, you may even drop that down to 15 or 20 minutes. But, you know, gauge what the Scouts, how the Scouts are reacting to it. When you are giving instruction as a den leader or as a cub master, put everybody on mute if you're using Zoom. That's really important, or you're not going to get anything accomplished. You can unmute a scout or a parent when you need to talk directly to them, or if they can signal by raising their hand that they need to talk. Anyway, just get familiarize yourself with Zoom. But some of the things you can do on a Zoom meeting, and this would go for a den meeting or a pack meeting, and it is dependent upon the size. You can sing songs. They can still do skits or tell jokes. You want to start them with the oath, the law, the pledge, just like they would in any other in-person meeting. You know, Cub Master, there can still be a Cub Master's Minute. If you have some special greeting that you usually do, you do that. Short activities, you want to keep those really short. But whatever you do, just do your best to make sure they're having fun with it. Some of the, I missed one. Give cubs a chance to interact with each other. So even if this is just, you know, at the end, give them 5 minutes to chat with each other and say hi to their friends. And that's going to be really important to them. I know I was talking with a committee chair who said that they run a hybrid program. She said that they had a night where it was more like a pack meeting type night. They came together, and they did an outdoor movie, a drive-in movie style. And they were all separated in their own vehicles, but the kids could yell at each other, you know, across the parking spaces. They were at their church. And when they left, her son said, "This was the best night ever." And she's like, "It was just a movie." He says, "No, I got to see my friends." It's been a long time since he had seen his friends. And that was really, really important to him. So I'm thinking if it's important to one scout, it's important to a lot of scouts. So, and I'm wrapping this up on the virtuals. So lots of virtual things you can do. Virtual campouts, we're having one coming up with Fall Family. Virtual scavenger hunts. One night you can get them on Zoom and let them play a game together. It could be bingo, it could be just about anything that they don't have to be right in the same room for. Geocaching is something, it gets them outside. It is not interactive with anybody else other than a parent. There are also the 30-day challenges, and those go by ranks, and Ed will put up some information, some resource information, and I will as well in a little bit, that there are sites that have these 30-day challenges. So you don't have to read every time. I'm sorry. I thought somebody had said something. So that is all for virtual meetings. I don't know anybody currently who's doing an all virtual pack meeting. I had to look this information up. So anybody have any questions on that or think this is something you want to give a shot? Nobody? Alrighty. I'm going to move on then to hybrids. And my notes are a little scattered in this, so bear with me because I've had a couple busy days. So what I'm calling a hybrid meeting is a meeting that a portion of the meetings are in person and a portion of the meetings are virtual. And that doesn't mean that all the scouts are there in person. I know that PAC 231 does a hybrid meeting, and they do have in-person meetings. They have 3 den meetings a month, and the den meetings are in person. They stay outside, they socially distance, they do activities that don't require any kind of touch, so there's no contact. But they do have families who, because of medical issues, don't feel comfortable being there or should not be there. So they do have a virtual component for even for those in-person meetings. And I believe Eric was talking about that a few minutes ago with PAC 50, that they're doing the same thing. And so you can have a Zoom meeting going at the same time. I think in the case with 231, I think they may carry around phones now. They tried carrying around laptops. Being outside and kids going every which way, it was a little difficult carrying the laptops, so they use phones. But they work on different, I'll just go with what PAC 231 does. They work on different requirements. They work on advancements, belt loops, basically what the kids and leaders want to do. And the ones at home are helped virtually. So just like we were talking about with the virtual DIN meetings where the parents have to be a little more involved, you would have to go to that kind of setup for the children who cannot attend the meetings. So let's see, I already said that about outside. So one thing with meeting outside, you do it in the case of inclement weather. I mean, that's going to come up, and there will be times where you have to either cancel the meeting altogether or at the last minute change it to a virtual format. So you have to be a little more fluid in what you're doing, but it can be done. They said that, you know, they may have to cancel instead of going inside because they only allow one small group inside the scout hut at a time. Another thing that PAC 231 does is they ask if somebody's going on vacation. They ask if, you know, there's something going on in that family. If they're going out of town, if somebody's from out of town is coming to visit, that scout will quarantine. They will attend virtually. And that's just to keep everybody else safe. Like I said, they socially distance. Now school, right now it's digital learning. Once school opens up, they are maintaining the option of stopping for a month and going all virtual for 1 month, just to kind of see how things play out once school starts. And, you know, this really just comes down to planning ahead. You need to be thinking a month down the line when it comes to COVID, because you need to have contingency plans in place. So that's what they're thinking. They haven't made the decision, but they're thinking that that might be critical once school starts back up to keeping all the families healthy. So parents and adults do wear masks. They don't always require them outside. It depends on how socially distanced they are. If they're on a hike and everybody's really spread out, they aren't as, can't think of the word. They aren't as, oh my goodness, help me with the word. Strict.
Diligent.
Diligent, strict. Every once in a while I miss a word. And, you know, they don't take the temperatures there. They had a touch thermometer, which they decided wasn't going to work for this. So what they do is they ask their families to take their temperatures before they come. And they ask them if you're sick, even if you feel just a little under the weather, if you have a cough, if you've had a fever in the last couple days, please stay home. And they said that it's worked out real well so far. They've been meeting this way for several months now, and it is working for them. They are finding that they do play more games, and they are doing some scout level things, even at the cub level. So, you know, they're building more fires. They are working on knots. They have done scavenger hunts. The kids, they said, loves them. So the scavenger hunts they do is to find the 6 essentials. So they put that scout element into it and still make it fun at the same time. They do some things that really don't have anything to do with scouting, just like I said, to keep the fun in there. And one thing they're doing is they're making sure that their troop is staying interactive with their pack. So they, on occasion, will pull in one of the boys from 231 or one of the girls from 5231 to help with the scouts. And den chiefs would work really well for that. So, you know, if you are if you have a working relationship with a troop that has den chiefs available, I would definitely recommend going to that. PAC 504 is doing something very, very similar, but they have done different things. They are also doing the hybrid where they've been virtual, but they are also moving to in person as well. How they started the transitioning back over to in person is they created a parent survey that they sent out. And some of the questions they asked on this parent survey, they asked the parents, would you prefer an in-person meeting or a virtual meeting? And then asked them, well, so if you would prefer an in-person meeting, are you willing to wear a mask and enforce that your child wears a mask? Are you comfortable with temperature checks? Are you willing to help? Because that's going to be a big one here. They also asked, what is the maximum number of people you're comfortable with in a group? And so if they also asked them, if we have to break into smaller groups, you know, divide those dens up, will you help the leaders? They also asked the parents if they would be willing to sign a waiver. They, like most PACs, are concerned about liability. And I do know that some chartered organizations are also putting out, they're having waivers that they're wanting filled out. So, you know, be aware that, you know, there may be waivers involved. They asked them how they feel about PAC meetings right now. And then they also had a fill in the blank comment area so that parents could address anything else that they were concerned about. And that's where they started, which I thought was a great way to start it. They just used SurveyMonkey, and it gave them an idea of what their PAC wanted. And so the PAC wanted to transition into more in-person meetings. And so they're doing that, but they're still changing things up a bit. Like I said, with the virtual, try to keep it as same as possible. They're having their back-to-pack this weekend. So I was just floored that they were having a back-to-pack. I didn't expect that. And they're going to have people sign up there at back-to-pack, but do it digitally. And one thing that they always do at their back-to-pack that the kids absolutely love is they have a water day. Well, that's not really going to work the same this year. So what they're doing is they're having a soak the leader day. They're going to line up and the kids are going to have water stuff in their vehicles and drive past and just soak the leaders as they go past. The kids are so excited about this. They're not the ones getting wet this year, but you would think that there was no difference. They are super excited to do this because it still keeps in with the same theme that they're used to. She said that some of the parents she spoke with are a little stressed out and feeling overcommitted because of all the stuff they're having to juggle with digital learning and having the kids home all the time and no me time. And that's a valid concern. And so, you know, there are people wondering, well, how am I going to do this when I don't have time to do what I'm already doing? You know, I really don't have an answer for that. I think that just comes down to some mental fatigue on the parents' part. And yeah, I personally don't have an answer for that. I hope that people are able to work through it and discover that this could be more of a release than a chore. I mean, for me, I enjoy scouting. I like it way more than I like my chores. But hopefully the parents that feel that way right now will somehow overcome it, because like I said, I just do not have an answer right now. So what some of the things after the survey they decide is they will resume in-person meetings for DIN meetings. They will have a virtual element for their medically fragile scouts and adults. They are planning to utilize DIN chiefs to help them interact with the scouts and help monitor the chat stuff for the virtual kids, because they don't want the kids that are having to attend virtually to feel like they're getting less of a program. And they don't want the parents to feel that they're getting less either. So they have decided to utilize DIN chiefs to help with that, which I think is a fantastic idea. They have decided that they will have a waiver to help with the liability issue. They are requiring a mask, and I thought this was a great idea. They, at their back to pack, when the kids get their t-shirts and their pack t-shirts and everything, they are allowing the parents to wear masks that match the kids' uniforms. And they found a distributor. The masks are like $10 each. They have the Cub Scout emblem on the side. They're blue. They're just as cute as can be. And she said the cost is $10, so they're charging the parents $10. They're not trying to make any money off this. They're just trying to get something that the kids will like that they'll wear. So I think that's a fantastic idea. They purchased a no-touch thermometer. I know that some packs may not have that in the budget. Luckily for them, they did. So they are going to be taking temperatures. They are going to be social distancing. They are setting up hand sanitizer stations. They're buying extra disposable masks, and I told you about the face masks. So just by polling the parents, it made it a lot easier for them to figure out what their pack wanted. They did, for the virtual, they did purchase a Zoom membership. It's $12 a month. They felt that that was going to work a lot better for them than just trying to use the free version. This, they are keeping the meeting short, but this gives them more options, especially when it comes to committee meetings and parent meetings. They are capping their DIN meetings. They will not have more than 8, so that they can effectively social distance. And the DIN meetings will be live streamed for the kids who cannot be there. So some of the different virtual activities, challenges, competitions, geocache challenge, hiking challenge, virtual scavenger hunt, service project. They did a service project, did a pollinator project, and sent pictures. These are all things that they've done. So, it can be done. So for PAC meetings, they are doing those digitally. They felt that it was not doable to meet in person and socially distance with a large group. So one thing they did, and their PAC budget just allowed for it, they created a drive-in movie theater at their church. They got a projector, they got a big screen, they got a FM transmitter, and I told you about it a little earlier. The kids had a ball. Everybody stayed in their own cars. They brought their snacks, but the kids loved it. It worked out really well for them. They are planning a rain gutter regatta, but instead of the straws, we don't want the kids going through the straws. They're going to use fans and fan the boats down the track. So that way they don't have to remove masks. So again, just thinking outside the box stuff. They did communicate with the parents so that the parents knew what to expect, and they let them know that it's still a value. The parents can see what their kids are getting. And it just let them know that they have a plan that they're working out. So any questions on virtual? I'm not virtual, on a hybrid. Anybody have any other suggestions for doing either a virtual or a hybrid? anybody here plan to do either a virtual or a hybrid at this point? Oh,
No, this is Liz. Hey,
Hey, Liz.
506. Hey, so yeah, you know, going forward, I like that, you know, getting everybody together at least once a month is a good idea, virtually. And it's just, I'm having difficulty gathering people and having people respond to my emails and, you know, phone calls. Don't really have adults that are wanting to participate right now. They're just, everybody's a bit overwhelmed, and the fact of having a virtual pack, you know, which would be ideal for this particular situation. I know that, like, I go through digital learning with my son every day, and it's exhausting. It's an all-day event, and they're in front of the computers all day. So the last thing that they're wanting to do is sit in front of the computer again to
Right.
have another meeting, which has some structure. They have to do things at certain times in order to gain, you know, to earn their badges. And so I want to make it fun. And I just think that, we should, I want to not want to have to stress about having to hurry to get things accomplished. I want them to have fun and to see some value, but I'm just having trouble finding ways to do it safely, and I'm not doing it. I'm not meeting face to face right now. It's so not appropriate right now.
Okay. Well, when it comes to the once a month, I know that district has had a hard time putting on the events like we usually do, which would take the planning off of you. Fall family camping is not until the end of October, but that is something coming up that you could do with your pack. It is done virtually. It's something you could do on your own with your pack as well, though. And it wouldn't really require a lot of leadership. If you wanted to do, just say, it doesn't even have to be a camp out. It could just be a day activity or an afternoon activity. If you could think of, you know, a game they could play or something they could do online with each other, that, I mean, I know it's not working towards advancement, but it is getting them together so that they can, you know, see and interact with each other and remember that the pack is still there. Because I imagine a lot of these kids are losing that focus. They're forgetting, since they haven't met for so long, that they still have a pack. And they do want to see their friends. So, I mean, what do you think about doing something like that even once a month? I mean, you could call it a pack meeting if you wanted. Have a couple of songs that, you know, you have them sing. You can, with Zoom, you can actually put the words up on the screen. I mean, would something like that be doable?
Well, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the Gish scavenger hunt. That they just had it with Misha Collins has like a spontaneous, like, goodwill, like, charities to, you know, it's a week-long scavenger hunt where you take pictures and you take videos accomplishing certain items. And I think that was fun. We did it all virtually this year. And so it's like random acts of kindness integrated with, you know, fun, quirky, strange, weird activities that they could, you know, have fun with. And I saved the list from this last, it ended last week, and it was so fun. That might be something fun to share.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be something great to do. And you could create your own using, I mean, if you want to keep it scouting, create your own using scout things. You know, tie a square knot. They can tie it, take a picture of it, send it in. Does your pack have a Facebook page?
We don't. We're trying to stay away from Facebook because of all the, you know, YPT issues, and we have our own website where it's all encapsulated. We have our own forum and everything, but we just wanted to have it all in one place and not have to worry about all the, you know, the youth protection, sharing pictures and stuff like that.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you can do anything like that. So this is a great time to think outside of the box. I'm finding that that's what I'm having to do a whole lot of. And at first I was kind of resentful of that, but now I'm really kind of enjoying it. I'm, you know, it's seeing what's the next thing I can come up with. And I think once you get, it seems a little daunting at first, but once you get going with it, it actually kind of turns into a game of sorts. But yeah, you know, and poll your parents, poll your scouts, find out what their ideas are and what they want to do as well. And you know, be open with it. You know, if there's something your scouts want to do and it doesn't seem doable, see if you can find something a little that's similar that they could do. So I would, what?
Can I go ahead and share this resource that I have?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we didn't even get to that, did we?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I know we're running late, guys. But,
Go ahead, Denise, while I set it up.
That's kind of what I was going to talk about. I think part of the issue with your parents being overwhelmed is, in order to meet the way we are, where the den leader isn't personally leading everything, is the parents have to kind of help with the activities and advancements. They have to be there when the scouts are learning how to tie knots, and they would be a lot less overwhelmed if they knew what to do. But when you don't have a clue, of course, you're not ready to start. BSA National has put a gazillion types of resources on their website for parents to help with these things, and other councils have. You could Google endlessly, and that's kind of what Ed's about to lead into.
So this is something I was looking at earlier this week, and then council sent it out and wanted us to share it. So this is a website. I put the link in the chat earlier, but I will put that in again right now, so that you can find this. These are for Cub Scout packs. The first thing is a video on the den leader experience, and it's a great video for first-time den leaders to kind of get them rolling, an idea of what the job entails. But if you dig down further, there's some scout book hacks, and you get to the really good stuff. There are short videos for different adventures for each level of scouting in the Cub Scouts program. And these videos could be good for a virtual meeting, or they could be used for a den leader to plan a meeting, even in person. The den leader could use this video to help plan their meeting. And you see it goes right on down. There's wolf, bear, and all the way down to webelos and arrow of light. So there's just a number of videos here, and these are all adventures that they can do. So that's a resource that can help you, regardless of whether you're doing virtual meetings or in-person meetings or some combination of them, just so that your den leaders have something to go on. Because I know, especially with the den leader, they're usually the newest leader in the unit, and they don't know a lot about what they need to do. And this really gives them a good head start, because it puts them on the right track to know what some ideas are, and to know what other people are doing. And a lot of these are you see they're from other councils, and they've posted these videos. And so yeah, good resource. And I just wanted to share that, and that's all I got.
Thank you, Ed. I'm glad you brought that up. I had forgotten that you had that. Yeah, and you know, I did a little searching today, and I came across a lot of stuff online as well. So a little Googling can take you a long way. You know, Brian on Scouting is something that, you know, I go to regularly. I read his stuff all the time. It's a great resource. There are, on Scouting Wire, there are several web conferences and webinars that you can go through. There's a whole section on, you know, fall recruitment, peer-to-peer, scout booking, geofencing. There's information about online registration, so that, you know, if you do recruit, then you can, you know, have them register online instead of having them fill out the paper form, which cuts down on the close contact. There's also a JTE scorecard with accommodations for at-home and virtual activities. So that's, you know, using JTE is a really good guideline to see if you're on track with your program. And Denise actually has sent, I think, pretty much all of these out before in emails. So if you have Denise's emails buried in your email file, then go back and dig them up and look at some of these links, because there's some really good ones in there. I even looked at some webinars for coping with COVID-19. There was one on too much time at home with the kids, canceled events disappointment, assessing mental health, conflict with going out in public. So there's even that kind of thing. It may not directly relate to a pack, but it does relate to the people in the pack. There was even one on how to get started as a virtual pack that, Liz, you may find helpful. And, I can send you these. There were other sites that may not be BSA that, just had some good ideas. There was, let's see, and I think I got these all from Denise. Scout Wiki had ideas, tips, and info for remote scouting. So there were a lot of ideas on there for virtual applications. Scout Share, there were also a lot of ideas and activities and articles for remote scouting on there as well, if you're planning on doing a virtual program. So yeah, definitely go dig through Denise's emails, and I can also send out this, the resources that I just came across today just by doing some digging. I can send that to you as well. You can just drop me an email and let me know you want it, and I'll send it to you. But so any questions, any thoughts? I feel like I've just droned on forever. There was so much information here, but I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts.
Hey, Stacy, this is Peter Cazell.
Hey, Peter.
I just wanted to add really quick, there's not only Zoom out there either. There's Microsoft Teams, and I don't know what Google's program that came out a couple of months ago. Can't remember theirs is. So if you're not, yeah, if you're not comfortable with Zoom, or you don't want to, pay for or a different pricing structure, take a look. I mean, most of the kids have Microsoft Teams embedded on the free Office 365 with school and blah, blah, blah. So I just want to throw that out to keep all the leaders aware.
Thank you, Peter. Yeah, I just always say Zoom because that's what we're used to using. I'm very technologically challenged. I'll admit it. I'm too old, I guess, to learn something new. But I appreciate you throwing that out there, Peter. So any more thoughts, any more ideas, anything else you can share with the others that you may be doing or thinking about doing? Anyone? Oh, Craig's here. I didn't see you earlier, Craig. I would have had you talk about what your pack does. If I had seen you, you were buried. So, but yeah, if anybody, I can't hear you. Still can't hear you, Craig. You give up. Well, if anybody wants to, pick Craig's brain or talk to him, I'm sure he wouldn't mind talking to you about what Pack 231's doing. And I mean, they're doing a great job over there. You can email him at sweetwateressp@gmail.com. Hope you didn't mind me giving out your email, Craig. But so that's sweetwateressp@gmail.com. And, ask him what's working for him. Ask him what he's tried and didn't work. Because it's always a lot easier when you start with somebody who's been there, done that. Mm-hmm. So let me scroll through and see who else is here, who I can call on.
I'm impressed this many people hung out this long.
Yeah, I figured I'd run them off by now. Well, that's really all I have tonight. Like I said, I felt like I droned on, and I know it was a lot of information. If you have any questions that you have, you can always reach out to me. My email is sweetwatermbc@gmail.com. I'm sure everybody has Denise's email address, and you can always reach out to Denise.
Denise Coburn @outlook.com.
So, I mean, let's see. I'll put this in the chat. Denise Coburn at outlook.com. And then Sweetwater NBC at gmail.com. And then Craig is Sweetwater ESSP at gmail.com. And any of us would be happy to talk with you or help you. Oh, and Rick Minersman threw in his as well.
Rick actually had to leave. He wanted me to just follow up. The breakout room got cut a little short, and we couldn't fix that once it started. So it timed out no matter how many buttons I was clicking on this end. So he didn't get a chance to get any feedback from the Scouts BSA leaders. If you have questions or comments, please shoot him an email. He would like to help you any way that he can, and if there's anything that you need from him, just let him know.
I have a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
Is the recording going to be available?
Yes, it'll be on the website in a couple of days.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, luckily we stayed in the main room, so it stayed recording, because when I switch to another room, I sometimes forget to hit that button. I get so focused on wanting to talk. So, well, I appreciate everybody hanging out here tonight, and I hope you got some information that you can take back and put to use. But I do really just want to encourage everybody, do something. It doesn't have to be your full program, but let's try to do something just to maintain the Scouts we have. Hopefully, once roundups start, we'll get new Scouts in as well. But as of right now, we definitely want to make sure that we're taking care of the Scouts that we have now. So I appreciate y'all, and I hope y'all have a good evening.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.